Not a bad month, actually, for the December Xbox Live games with gold. First up on the Xbox One, available from the 1st to the 31st of December, is Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. Now, this, thanks by the way to PlayStation Access for the footage. So obviously, yeah, this is the PlayStation version you're seeing. $30 on the store normally. This was originally released in October 2014, or at least this version of it was. 75% average on Metacritic, 74% in terms of user ratings. This is
Which is surprising, because it is a very loved game, isn't it?
It has a cult following, and a cult following is different to universally acclaimed.
Yeah.
So it definitely has a very vocal and passionate audience. And just to explain, this is a remastering of the Xbox 360 original from 2012. It comes with all of the downloadable content. It's a massive open world crime adventure set in Hong Kong, like Grand Theft Auto, but with a greater focus on melee combat instead of gunplay. This was originally going to be a part of the True Crime series, but ended up as a standalone game. It's extremely well loved, as you quite rightly said, and it does have a cult following. But you do need to keep in mind a few things. This is probably what's holding back those scores. It does feel last gen. A lot of the glitches and technical issues have survived the leap to the current gen as well, which is unfortunate. We only recently looked at the Ezio trilogy, actually, and it seems that they did a similarly quick job with that. But it is a good game. I mean, don't let that put you off too much. If you can forgive the fact it is essentially a last gen game, it is a good last gen game, and I think it's a great choice. Good. Yeah, it's a great choice for the games of gold, to be honest. Now, next up for the Xbox One, from the 16th of December to the 15th of January, is Outlast. This is, thanks by the way to Eurogamer Portugal for the footage of this, $20 in the store normally. June 2014 it originally came out. 80% in terms of critic averages on Metacritic, 79% in terms of user average. It's a first-person horror game. This was actually one of the first games to be included with PlayStation Plus, the Instant Games Collection, when the PS4 first launched. I don't know if you remember back in the day. Back in the
days when we were full of hope.
Yeah, back in the day when Sony was in pro-consumer mode rather than arrogant shitbag mode. It basically contains all of the classic ingredients of a horror game. You're wandering around an abandoned nut house with little more than a mobile phone to light your way. This is actually a genuinely unnerving game. I personally had to stop playing it after a couple of hours, but then again, I'm one of those people that horror TV and horror films don't really affect me at all, but horror games quite often do.
I mean, Until Dawn's my limit, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't put this in the same league, to be honest, as Until Dawn, in terms of quality at least. But no, it has received a lot of streaming coverage from those awful fake reaction streamers who pretend to be scared all the way through their videos. I genuinely struggled to find a video of this that didn't have a shrieking dickhead in the corner of the screen. Some people have praised the game for its lack of hand-holding, whereas others are more irritated by the prospects of wandering around not knowing where to go next. I mean, I must admit, personally, I prefer to be nudged along a path rather than walking around aimlessly. It's not my bag.
It never hurts to put a few gentle nudges in.
No, exactly. It's around about 6 hours long, which again, I don't personally consider that to be too short, but some people do. So take your pick, really. Now, first up on the Xbox 360 this month, from the 1st to the 15th of December, is Outland. Thank you to the co-op mode for this video. $10. I should point out, the co-op mode is the name of the people who recorded the video. The game, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have a local co-op mode, so I just don't want to get people's hopes up there. $10 normally on the store. April 2011, this was originally released. 84% in terms of critic averages, 75% in terms of user ratings.
Quite a difference then.
Yeah, 9% difference, so the critics liked it more by the looks of it. This is from Housemarque. These are the developers of Resogun. It's a side-scrolling Metroid-style platformer where you play as a guy with a big lightsaber-style sword. Now, the unique selling point here is the Ikaruga-style approach to bullet hell, whereby you have to switch between colours to become immune to corresponding bullets. You can kind of see how that's working on screen. Ikaruga is this really famous shoot-'em-up. I mean, this is obviously a platform and not a shoot-'em-up, but it's the same concept.
It's got a very nice art style though, doesn't it?
It's graphically, it's really beautiful. When you consider this is last gen as well, this is obviously running on the Xbox 360, so obviously it's going to be backwards compatible with Xbox One. But for a last gen game, it is very, very nice. It's comparable actually to most current gen indie platformers, if you ask me. It's a little on the dark side though, I will say this. The checkpointing is decent, but it's lacking a local co-op mode, as I mentioned at the top. Nevertheless, not bad. Not
Not
outstanding.
bad, not great.
But not bad, exactly. And last up this month, from the 16th to the 31st of December, for the Xbox 360, it is, of course, Burnout Paradise. Thanks to JX Plays for this gameplay footage.
I'm a massive fan of this game.
You are. You're a frothing fanboy. $15 this normally costs in the store. January 2008, this was originally...
I don't feel that old.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I read that. I know it's quite an old game, but I didn't realise it was that old. That's like nearly 9 years as well. 88% in terms of the critic averages, but only 69% in terms of
I would
use.
be more with the critic ratings there, and it's not often I say that.
You see, now me personally, I'm the opposite. I'm with the user ratings on this. And I suspect that's for a very important reason, which I shall come on to in just a moment. Now, this is obviously the game where Criterion transplanted the Burnout formula into an open world game design. The game's strength lies in its presentation, which screams quality from the moment it opens to the strains of Guns N' Roses' Paradise City. However, despite being very highly praised by the critics, fans of the series were less convinced that making Burnout into an open world game was entirely necessary or indeed appropriate for the style of game. Now, I sympathise with this point of view, and I suspect the difference between us in terms of how much we like this game is because I'm old enough to remember the original Burnout games, whereas this was pretty much your jumping on point, wasn't it?
Definitely, and to be honest, I did like the open world aspects, as going around, burning out for other cars and stuff. But I suppose the fans of original Burnout games...
Yeah, you see, for me, the open world does often feel like a needless attempt to emulate Need for Speed, and it brings with it a number of irritations that are inherent in that style of game that weren't in the original, such as, do you remember the long-winded journeys between events, the lack of instant restarts? I found all of that, to be honest, a little bit game-destroying, but it's okay, but to my mind, it's no Burnout 3. I mean, obviously you're...
So I think it's a very fun game, but in short doses.
Yeah.
It's maybe like half an hour a day sort of thing while he's playing a different game alongside.
It'll be really interesting actually to see how it's aged as well. But I mean, as I said at the beginning, it's been a pretty decent month this month. What's your pick of the month?
I think it's got to be Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, but like you said, it's been a very good month, and I think Burnout Paradise is very close to being a pick as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's easily Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, to be honest. I mean, as I mentioned, I mean, Burnout Paradise is a good game. It's just because it's not the best of the Burnout series, it does suffer slightly in my mind. But Sleeping Dogs, if you can forgive a few little technical issues, is a really top draw open world game that'll easily keep you going until Christmas if you're a bit, if you're just waiting for Christmas to get some more games from through gifts and so forth. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below, and lots more at ParallaxLive.com. Just put the end card up there. Do please hit the like and subscribe button. That really helps us out. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we will catch you guys in the next stream.